All right. There he is, locked and loaded.
See these
So, Omar,
grays? I'm getting old.
I'm laughing because Poupar writes an article. You're there retweeting. So you and Poupar out of SI, and it says, the articles talk about how we're surprised that Tua's not getting any national love. Now, the part I would ask is, why is there a surprise? He never gets any national love.
No, he's talked about nationally routinely.
But not love.
Hold on, let me finish. He's talked about nationally routinely because Tua is probably one of the 5 players in the NFL that generates a viral amount of clicks and attention. It's just Tua is rabid. He's got all of Alabama. He's got all of Hawaii. He's got all of the Polynesian Islands. He's got maybe half of South Florida, half of the Dolphin fan base. So the attention that any story or any talk related to Tua gets is Tim Tebow-esque. Now, where I'm bothered and troubled by people's lack of respect for Tua is how many quarterbacks were in the MVP conversation at any point last season? Maybe 5? Lamar, Burrow, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Hurts. Oh, no, 6. Tua. Because wasn't he in the MVP conversation?
Yep.
Didn't they have polls up about him? Didn't they talk about him on Daily Talk? So you had 6 guys in the MVP conversation last year, quarterbacks. He finished the year as the number 1 top-rated quarterback in the NFL, led the league in a number of very important NFL statistics for quarterbacks. Dolphins were very good when healthy, except when he wasn't concussed. How does he get left off every single quarterback conversation for AFC quarterbacks? Every single conversation, every single ranking. He's like the 8th or 9th best quarterback in his own in his own conference, which to me, and I get it. A lot of guys, even I'm not even going to put Deshaun Watson ahead of Tua. Like, I get it. Deshaun Watson's got great resume, but what did he do in Cleveland last year when he came back? And get it, short time span. He did crap. Trevor Lawrence. This is where the one that bothers me. You want to list off every quarterback that you think is an upper echelon quarterback in the conference. Okay, no problem. I get it. Herbert, Lamar, Deshaun, Burrow, Mahomes, Allen. I get it. But you're going to put Lawrence over Tua? Like, what has Lawrence done, except for he has won a playoff game, that Tua has not done? I don't get it. And the body of work to his body of work is bigger and longer and more impressive than Lawrence. But, it is what it is. I love that it's happening because I know Nick Hicks is going to do what Nick Hicks does. And Tua doesn't pay attention to any of this, but Nick Hicks is going to.
Yeah, he does. He pays attention to it. He listens. That's all a lie.
I generally believe that guys lie.
He keeps receipts. He does.
Yes,
he
has said he keeps receipts. But he keeps receipts when people bring it to his attention. Tua's not on Instagram. Tua's not scanning Twitter.
No. But it's going to be brought to his attention that he's over.
As I said, when Nick Hicks brings it to his attention or his dad brings it to his attention, he'll file it away and he'll use it as fuel. And I know that's what they do. And I love that aspect of it because, he's much like the Tom Brady and the Jordan, and people don't know this about him. He looks for any little slight,
right,
as motivation. And when he's got a championship or he's won at a high level or he's put together an accomplished resume, we'll know the truth about how petty he was about all these little slights and his receipts.
I'll tell you this. To me, I think a lot of this and the people that are kind of, keeping him out of the talk, it's because a lot of the same BS that's gone on lately. A lot of people were already wrong about Tua because they came out and said he couldn't play, that he was too short, or his arm wasn't strong enough, or plays too much golf, or whatever it was. And so they were wrong about him as a player. So now that they're wrong about him as a player, they're using now the injury stuff to kind of use it against him, overall. And because they've got to try to justify their opinion now. Now that they were wrong initially about him not being able to play at this level, now they need the injury to bail them out.
I don't know how many people there
This
are
is
like
why
that.
they take this angle now.
I don't know how many people there are like that. I know maybe Sims' kid is probably his biggest critic, and
he was wrong about him, so now he'll use the
yeah. But
hey, listen, I got nothing but love for Joe Rose. Joe Rose said all the time he couldn't play, that he didn't believe he was the player, and now he uses the injury stuff.
no, he always wanted
When I get in the
Herbert.
car, and I listen to Joe, him and Hollywood they're leaning on the injury stuff now like crazy, because they can no longer lean on, well, he's too short, his arm isn't strong enough, all that kind of BS that I heard from people. Diana Rossini was another one. Oh yeah, no, he's not going to be a successful quarterback at this
She
level.
evaluate no players.
Well, whatever, but she's there, right? They ask her for her opinion. Whatever, bro. Hey, listen, I don't care what your sex is. To me, it doesn't matter. You either
It's not about the sex. I'm not looking at Diana.
I'm just saying, you're looking at her like, she's not there. Well, but she gave an opinion, right? I just want to say it's a fucking stupid opinion, okay? Just like Joe Rose and everybody else that thought he couldn't play, you were dumb. You didn't
know. I don't
game.
think anybody ever said he couldn't.
I heard it, bro. I heard it.
Who said he couldn't play?
Yeah, at this level that he's not going to be successful. He's too short. His arm's not strong enough. He's a one-read quarterback. Your ex-boss said that stupid shit, and he played football. You don't have to comment, bro. But your ex-boss said some stupid shit, that he was a one-read guy. So I heard this shit. I took notes. They're all here, bro. I know who said he can't play, or his arm wasn't strong enough, or he played too much golf. I heard you say that stupid shit. Okay? So all these people that you see, 90% of them were wrong about him playing, and now they're going after him because of the injury. That's it. I saw it, dude. And most and more of the Mike Tannenbaum, Florio,
Mike Tannenbaum without a doubt would have went Herbert. But that's without a doubt, that's not saying Tua couldn't play.
Successful. He also said Tua wasn't going to be successful too.
No, I had conversations with Tannenbaum about Tua. That wasn't what he was saying. He was saying the injury risk is too steep, and a lot of teams agreed with him. Too concerning. It is what it is, bro.
The injury risk, I don't have a problem with injury risk. That was the only obvious thing that was wrong with him. My problem was the arm queens, the size queens. Okay, which our boy Joe Rose is a total arm and size queen. Total arm and size queen.
I don't listen to Joe Rose like that, so I know I couldn't tell you what.
Well, I catch him a couple times a week when I'm in the car doing a live appearance and I'm driving. I usually listen to Joe because I like Joe, but I know he was way off on the Tua thing, and I'll tell him straight to his face too. I have no problem with that because I heard it, so I know what I heard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on that show. Zach's no longer on that show, but Hollywood is on that show. All three of them were dead ass wrong about Tua.
No, Zach loves Tua.
No.
Yes, he does.
No, you're wrong.
He does.
You're wrong. No, oh, by the way, they were
right.
also all wrong about Chris Greer. So they weren't believing in Tua or Chris Greer too at the same time. But the Tua thing is all because of that crutch. That a lot of people were wrong, and then he goes out and is in the MVP conversation, and that put people like, holy crap, wow, this guy. And then they start with, well, look at his receivers. And, it's like, wow, Montana didn't have great receivers. Terry Bradshaw didn't have great receivers. Dan Marino didn't have great receivers.
You know what I find very interesting about this draft? If this draft class, Bryce Young will probably be the number one quarterback selected. He is literally the exact same size as Tua. Now, no injury history. And nobody, they'll mention it, but it's not going to stop anybody from drafting him the number one quarterback.
Yeah, but would you take him or would you take? See, because I don't like what they're doing now. I think there's this bullshit going on with Stroud. So
yeah,
they're sending bullshit in to try to, bring him down, and then now they're trying to push up the Will Levis kid. And to me, that's just a bullshit sell job.
You know how you more than anybody knows how this game gets played.
Yeah,
teams want Stroud to fall,
right,
and teams want to artificially inflate, or agents want to artificially inflate Will Levis. I don't believe any of this, and somebody's going to fall in love with a quarterback in there. I think all of these quarterbacks, I wouldn't take any of them. You know who I take? I take Hooker. I've liked Hooker, but let me tell you something. I like Stroud, bro. I don't care what anybody tells me. That kid has got what you need in order to be. Now, is he going to be successful? I don't know, but I think he's got every tool you need. You know what? I love their offense.
I like his accuracy, and that usually is where I start with guys. He's got pretty good accuracy.
I have not thoroughly looked at quarterbacks, so I have not thoroughly diagnosed a lot of these positions in this draft, because if the Dolphins don't need it, if the Dolphins don't need it, I'm not looking at it.
Right.
But I've seen enough of some guys to have formulated an opinion. And this is not going to be a good statement, but the history of Ohio State quarterbacks.
Oh, not good. Yeah. No, not good. I know.
It's not. Don't say not good. It's bad.
I know. By the way, for a long stretch, Alabama quarterbacks weren't good either.
That's true. And I would argue to you that I would argue to you that with one exception, they're still not good.
No, Hurts is doing good and Tua's doing good, bro.
Hurts didn't finish there. I don't consider him an Alabama quarterback.
Oh, but he was there for a year. I mean,
I hate that. I don't like that.
No, because he only left because the other
so now we get associated and tied with every school that you transfer from, you're a product of. And that's the thing. Jalen Hurts shouldn't be going into Alabama's like Ring of Honor, or these are our alums in the NFL. Like, no, you finished at Oklahoma. Don't do that. Now with this transfer portal.
But he was there. He was there. You know what I'm saying?
He was there. He was a starter.
Even conservative ass Mac Jones is still better than all those other Alabama quarterbacks that were coming out for the last 15 years. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So you look at it, the progression, it started to get better and better here.
And I'm not saying that a school can produce quarterbacks, because Lord knows, since the University of Miami were producing quarterbacks, they were quarterback U, and now they couldn't produce a quarterback to save their life.
Right.
But
and I don't think the guy they have now is really an NFL quarterback either, by the way. So he might be a backup or something, but that's about it. I don't think he's a starter. You think he's a starter in the NFL?
Not based on what I saw last year, but based on what I saw the year before that, I was very intrigued and was curious to see.
I don't think he's a starter in the NFL. I think he's a backup at best.
But CJ Stroud, I would take him in the first round. I would not take him top 10. But all of these quarterbacks are going to be artificially inflated.
But that's always like that. That's always
Will Levis. I saw the tools and I was very intrigued. But then when you look at him, it's a no for me. And the same thing with Anthony Richardson. I have no idea what the intrigue is there. None.
Well, no, it's God-given ability. It's the raw ability that he's better than everybody in the draft by 1,000 miles in raw ability. So you know how it is, bro.
He's not even better than Will Levis raw ability.
He is. Athletically, he's sick. But the thing is, it's that one coach that's going to say, yeah, I can make him, and that's all. It's just an ego thing. But I think
this draft is going to be a shit show. Total shit show.
Enormous gamble. Enormous gamble is Anthony Richardson. But
total shit show.
But let me tell you something. If Anthony has it here and here, and you get the right coach, then maybe you got gold. Maybe. Oh, you don't think he's got it? No? Okay, I don't know the kid, so I don't know.
I don't know the kid. I watched a program for. I've watched a couple of interviews recently, and I don't get the intrigue. If he was like super smart or charismatic or just killing the boardroom, like, bro, he didn't even win at Florida. Like,
well, they're not that good. But again,
I don't care.
He's not that good either, by the way. I've watched him. He's not that good. He
Like,
really
no, I remember watching him. I was somewhere.
He's an athlete, bro. That
Yeah.
athletes will wow you with stuff, but
I'm good. I'm not taking an athlete at quarterback. I'm
right.
not.
Right. He's not a quarterback. This is all ego.
Hawker is a quarterback.
Yes. Yes.
Hawker is a quarterback.
Yes.
Give me a quarterback.
Yes.
I will even say Bryce Young is a quarterback.
Yeah, no. So Stroud and a couple of these guys are real quarterbacks, but I mean, are they good enough is the question, obviously.
What bothers me about Stroud is, and I love Ohio State's program. I love their receivers. They got probably the best receivers and best offensive line in the NFL, in college football. Why didn't he win at the highest level?
I don't know. I can't answer that, to tell you that was that team good enough all the way around? Were they coached well enough? I can't tell you because I can't say I watched every Ohio State game and why they specifically lost this game or that game. I'd have to hear a Buckeye fan say something like that.
Had NFL receivers up to Yahoo.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
his accuracy.
Hardline's the best recruiter in college football, bro.
He's the offensive coordinator now. I think he's.
But he's the best recruiter in college football. Not just a coordinator, not just a coach. He's the best recruiter in college football, bro.
I'd have to hear somebody from the college ranks tell me that. But
yeah. Just go ask him. They'll tell you. He's killing it, bro. He gets all the top receivers to go there. I mean,
because you're pumping them out. It's easy when you're pumping them out. Okay, well, Larry Coker was a great recruiter when he was pumping them out.
But nobody's been pumping him out like him. That's the thing.
Well,
he's the pump that produces the gas.
Absolutely, no question about it. I want to see Hartline run his own program. I'm a big Hartline fan.
It's coming.
Yeah,
that's all he's doing. He keeps climbing that ladder, and all he does is kick ass.
I could see that
coordinator. That's his next step. He can recruit. Now, if he creates a great offense and a dominant offense,
that's done. He's a great coach. He's a great coach. I knew he'd be a great coach.
I get that, but my point is that now he finishes it off now by proving to everybody that he can build a great offense and maximize all kinds of positions. And then now they're going to say, well, here's a program for you. It may be Ohio State. It may be somebody else. Who knows? I don't know, but they'll be lined up to hire Brian Hartline. There's no doubt about that. All right. I told everybody that the Dolphins are telling you they're drafting a tackle if they can. Why? Because they keep bringing in tackles. They've brought in a few in the offseason already. They haven't signed them. Brandon Shell is still out there. They just brought in Cameron Fleming. This is all preparations for if we don't get what we think we can get in the draft, here's plan B. Fleming.
There is no way they're going to be able to get a good starting caliber tackle in the draft.
Well, I heard Omar, you're not them. Okay, that's your opinion. In their eyes, they might think that somebody's going to be there at 51.
No, they're preparing for the worst case scenario, which is we got to sign Cam Fleming or Brandon Shell because we're out here naked. And here's the thing.
You agree with me that they're doing this because they are targeting a tackle somewhere in that second or third round that they like. If he's there, great. If he's not, plan B is whatever.
No, they I want to have this conversation with you since you're such a big Chris Grier fan. The biggest mistakes that Chris Grier has made throughout his tenure as the person in charge of the drafts, which begins in 2016, is when he is selected for need. If you just look at the history of when he is selected for need, as opposed to just picking best player or following his board. They've run into some trouble, some errors, some mistakes. Like, Austin Jackson was a need pick. That was a little bit of a reach right there. You go back to, and this predates him, but he was still in the room, the Juwan James era, where Juwan is.
It's not his pick.
Yeah, it's not his
Not
pick.
in charge. You can't blame people that aren't in charge with the final word. And
I don't disagree with you.
Now he has the final word. The last 4 years.
Answer this question: was he one of the 5 individuals in charge of putting together the board during that era?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that doesn't, just because you have a suggestion doesn't mean anybody goes by it.
You're correct, but he put together the board. They had Juwan James rated as a first-round talent, and I don't want to argue. Juwan James, I think, is a good find for the Miami Dolphins. We're splitting hairs because Juwan James had 5 decent seasons for Miami as a starter when it got the bag.
I disagree with you. Too injury-prone, too inconsistent, bad pick. Disagree with you completely.
He had like one injury season.
I wanted Moses with that pick.
I did want Moses too. I did want Moses and thought he would have had a better career.
Better pick than that.
Yes, you're correct. I agree with you, and I wanted Moses too in that pick. Moses had a better career, but Juwan James was not a bad selection because he had one injury season. Quality starter. Morgan Moses is better.
Yes, Morgan Moses was way better, but Juwan James never convinced me, bro. Just never convinced me, unfortunately.
We had a lot of misses, bro. That wasn't one of them. Leonte Carew is a miss. That's not one of them. Raekwon McMillan is a miss. That's not one.
Very limited linebacker.
Charles Harris.
I also feel terrible for Raekwon in one sense. The first play of your damn career, you blow your knee out, bro. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Come on, bro. Can we give the man a break? I mean, I think he's
still having a decent career, isn't he? Isn't he like
I know, but I don't know what that knee took out of him because he wasn't necessarily the most athletic guy in the world.
He was a 2-down linebacker.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that for sure until he was playing for a little bit. Not to say that there's any shame in being a 2-down linebacker. And Landon Roberts had a phenomenal career here as a 2-down linebacker. So 100 tackles.
The Florida guy for the Patriots. Brandon something, was it?
Oh,
that's my Gator too. He was a Gator. He was a Gator, and he had like He had like
Brandon Spikes. He's got a CBD company.
It was like 6-7 years he played for the Patriots, and he was a solid linebacker for them.
Yes, he lives down here. He's still good dude, man. He's got a CBD company that's doing quite well. We have some of the products. It's
Brandon Spikes. That's it.
Pain management. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that was a different era of football, though. But I think 2-down linebackers are coming back.
Well, I mean, they have a role. You know what I'm saying? They have a role. It's just you got to – the problem that got screwed up is that in this league it's more passing than ever. And so that's where the 2-down linebackers kind of become like the fullback. You know, there's only a specific group of people that can use you. And if that small section of people don't need you, you're not going to have a job. You know what I'm saying?
See, but
20 years ago, everybody was looking for a 2-down linebacker to put on their team. Everybody was looking for a fullback to put on their team. 20 years later, the game changed.
Question for you. Would Zach Thomas in this era be viewed as a 2-down linebacker?
No, he could cover. He can run sideline to sideline. No, he can cover. He had a lot of pass deflections and everything. No, he can cover, bro. He can move. Yeah. No. And his anticipatory skills were amazing because he knew what the play was coming. So that kind of gave him an advantage too at the same time because he knew the back was coming out of the backfield. So he was already ready to cover the guy as he's coming out.
I think everybody turns their nose up at the 2-down linebackers, and I still like those inside hard-hitting interior linebackers. But the alternative is Jerome Baker. And
right. It's just the game changed, bro. The game changed, so you can't use them that much because then they end up in space. And we saw it last year with both guys, Ingram too. that when they ended up in space, Roberts and Ingram, oh my God, it got really ugly. And it's not fair to them because it's not really who they are. But it's something that you need in today's game because and on any down they can spread your ass out. And then that becomes a real problem for them overall. All right, so we're up to we're 2 days away now from making the pick. One, I know you've talked about it, you've written about it, but you don't believe that there's going to be any trade ups whatsoever, right? You're okay. So
I think if maybe an offensive tackle falls that they really like,
I agree. I totally agree with you on that.
Totally, they will trade up.
I am convinced they like one or two guys at 51, and they're like, okay, if one of these two guys falls to us, then we're taking him. If not, then we'll sign one of the street free agents or whatever.
Yeah. I think that if Broderick Jones is in the 20s, and I don't expect him to be, I think they'll take him. Like I heard on Joe Rose's show, Brian Baldinger said there are going to be 8 offensive linemen in the first round. And I thought to myself, I can't name 8 starting offensive linemen in this draft. Like, not immediate.
Like, but did he include like guards and centers too?
He must have.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense because the guards and the centers in the back end of the first round sometimes sneak in there. So that makes sense.
There are 2 guards and 2 centers. So that's
easily 4 tackles or 5 tackles can get
so 5 tackles.
Yeah. That makes sense. Baldy knows. I mean, shit, it's offensive line play. That's his expertise.
1, 2, 3. Dwayne Jones, boy, is he falling. Boy, he's going to be one of those guys that
big guy, bro.
Damn. Yeah, but he's falling. He got some suitcase, some luggage, some travel on, paid $50 to Delta to check on.
That's the kind of guy that falls to 51.
Yep.
Okay. I saw him at was it the East West or was it the senior?
It's a senior. He had a phenomenal day the first day and then quit.
The senior, yeah. Dude, what? He's a house, bro.
Yeah.
That is
a house that works, though.
That's a big dude. Yeah, that's the problem with big guys. They carry so much that they have to be pretty special to be able to move around constantly because they have to have that drive because it takes a lot of energy. Look at the Jets' big guy constantly breaking down, Mekhi Becton.
That's injury. That's injury related. But yeah, I hear what you're
saying.
Part
of it, carrying all that weight and that size, bro, that's not easy, man.
Question for you. Would you give up next year's first to move into the 20s to pick up Broderick Jones from Georgia?
They won't do that because they like Austin Jackson enough that they're going to try. So I don't think that they'll do that.
I agree. Yeah,
true.
You saying they like Austin Jackson enough, but keep in mind Austin Jackson also.
Forget about what you and I think. Forget about you and I aren't convinced yet with Liam. That's not what I keep telling everybody. That's not what they think, bro. I know it because they're telling me that, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. So what am I supposed to do? They like him. So I don't think that they'll trade up. But would I? Yeah, I would. I would because to me, the most imperative thing there is in the world is to protect Tua. If you just give your quarterback time, that kid's going to pick you apart. And you gave him weapons that are just ridiculous. So you give him with his accuracy, his anticipatory skills, you give him a line and a running game, and it's freaking over, bro. It's over. They're going to put up a ton of points. So I would build the wall of Montezuma in front of Tua. That's what I would do. So I would, I would risk everything to build a line for any quarterback, by the way. Look at Andrew Luck, man. You did a shit job of building a line, and you ended up with a guy on the podium saying, I'm tired of injury, pain, rehab, and he walked away from the game. Why? Because you didn't give him a line. And then they go and build a line after he retires.
He was always rich anyway.
I know, but still,
that's why they stay away from rich guys in the NFL.
The fact is you scared him away because you didn't protect him. You know what I mean? And then they go and draft the Notre Dame lineman and all that after Andrew Luck, which is like, and it's like Calvin Johnson walked away from the Lions. Barry Sanders walked away from the Lions. And this is going to happen more and more because players are making so much money that it gets to a point. This game is brutal, dude.
If it's not in your heart, nah, this ain't you.
Right. So what I would do, I'm with you. If there's a lineman that I think is going to make a difference on my team, then yeah, hell yeah, I would trade for him for sure. I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, that's really only Broderick Jones. Now I'm intrigued by DeJuan Jones, the Ohio State kid.
51.
And they might be able to get him in the third round because I think he's going to fall. I think he's going to.
Wow.
I definitely know he's not going.
Wow.
I definitely know he's not going to be a first rounder. And
that's
I think he's
package, dog. That's some Samsonite there.
Yeah, man. I read one scouting report that somebody provided me. That's one. It's one of those Rashad Jones scouting reports where they're like, bro, gonna be a great player, but you better know what you're getting.
Right. Okay.
You know those guys always slide, and we're like sitting there like, why are they sliding? What happened? What do they know?
But is it as bad as Isaiah Wilson? Shit like that?
Not that bad.
Okay. All right.
Not that bad. No mental health issues.
It's more lazy, not a bad dude.
Lazy, yeah, mostly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And Ohio State's going to get these people to real.
No. Hey, listen, that's the trick sometimes. Sometimes that lazy guy can be reached, but the guy that's a bad dude, that's a really tough situation for coaches because now you're fighting the character all the time, and you can't do that. At least the guy that's lazy, might be it's because he hasn't figured shit out yet. You know what I mean?
One thing I will say is I remember Rashad Jones is a Chris Grier pick when Chris Grier was a nobody. He advocated for him. He pushed for him. He stood on the table. I know that for a fact. That was confirmed to me by people who were around during that selection. And I talked to Chris.
It makes sense. That's a fifth round pick, right?
Chris thoroughly.
Forgive me for this one, okay? Yeah, let's let the black guy have the fifth round pick. Yeah, okay.
No, they did that. They used to do that during Hickey too. Hickey, the guys.
Another guy that's underrated. But go ahead.
Yeah, they used to do that during Hickey, where they and the people who advocated for him would come to the podium and tell you why they took him, and I respected that from Hickey, and so it's really those guys, the character guys, and I trust me, I'm not scared off by character guys, even though I think I've been advised.
Well, it's got to have a strong coach, as long as it's not a Joe Philbin.
I've been advised it's very dangerous to put a character guy in Miami, and I also understand, covering this team for 15 years, some of the most talented players just fall through the cracks just because they can't handle South Florida. You got to put them in like Green Bay or Carolina. You got to put them where ain't shit going on. And they'll live their life in the offseason with the lack of discipline, but they need focus. It's too many ladies out here, man. Too many ladies.
Yeah, temptations are brutal. All right, have you got it locked down to what tight end you want? Or two, because second or third round.
I got a whole quadrant of tight ends that I like.
They're taking the tight end. I don't give a shit what anybody tells me. They're taking a tight end in the second or third round. I believe it.
I think they might wait. I definitely think I like Luke Musgrave a lot more than a lot of people like him. And that's because he's got that injury history, because he's not that great of a blocker, but the body and the movement skills to me are phenomenal, sensational. I'm a big Darnell Washington fan. If he's there at 51, I'm running to the podium. Not a pass catcher. He's not going to do that. He's just going to maul you as a blocker, and I think that fits this offense. I don't like Sam Laporta as much as a lot of people do, but I do believe that he
I like him as a pass catcher. I like him as a pass catcher.
Your guy, Tucker Kraft, I looked at him. I like him. Luke Schoonamaker, I think Luke Schoonamaker is probably going to be the target in round 3. That's just my opinion.
Tucker may even fall to 3.
What'd you say?
Tucker may fall to 84.
Tucker. Oh, yeah. Brandon Strange. And then there's an Ohio State kid. Can't remember his name. That I think that they all can get the job done for Miami. Obviously, Michael Mayer and Dalton Kincaid won't be there.
Oh, by the way, just for Andres Orozco, because people sometimes pull this stupid shit. UGA exposed Hendon Hooker. NFL defenses adjust. I don't know if Hooker can be consistent in the NFL. Andres, I could tell you're like 25 years old or 30. Yeah, you know what? I used to hear all that when Florida would beat Peyton Manning. How'd that work out, bro? How'd that work out?
He
can't beat the Gators. He won't make it in the NFL.
Nobody knows who's going to pan out, but I like the trade.
But what I love is the guy he had a bad game against Georgia. That's it. He must suck.
You know what's funny?
Sammy Smith ran all over the University of Miami for 168 yards. And then we all said as Miami Dolphins fans, holy shit, that guy's good. Shula takes him at number 9 overall because, of course, if he ran over an NFL defense at the University of Miami, Sammy Smith must be awesome. How did that work out, Mr. Orozco? Thanks for playing.
When I look at games because you got to start with the highlights just to get sort of a basis of what they are and their movement skills, but then you got to go to the games. And I don't look for his most productive game. I look for his worst game, and I look for his best competition, NFL caliber competition. If you played Ohio State, I'm all about it. If you played Alabama,
has Hendon Hooker even played enough football for you to even know who he is? No, bro. That kid's so raw, but you're going off of ability. That's what you're going off of. He's not supposed to be a polished product. What did he play? A little over a season at Tennessee? How many games?
That's a good question for Sean.
Let me look it up. How many games did Hendon Hooker actually play?
All of these quarterbacks, except for the Alabama kid and the Ohio State kid, didn't play enough games.
Right.
But you know how this league is. That's why you got to draft one early, man. Just keep draft one. Keep investing in them.
Exactly. I completely
keep investing in them. They're like a stock. They're a commodity. They grow value. You can I'm curious to see what Jordan Love looks like. Just keep investing in them because you can flip them and turn them into something.
He played 24 games at Tennessee. So that's pretty good. And then he played in 3, 10, and 8 games at Virginia Tech. But I don't know, did he start them all or did he have – no, he didn't, obviously. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, no, he actually got – it was his first year where he didn't get much action. He did play 28, 38. Now he played a lot of games because even the ones at Virginia Tech, he threw for 1,500 yards and 1,300 yards. But, hey, listen, that guy threw 80 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. It's not too bad.
No. Great.
He did play only 2 seasons at Tennessee, but he played more than I expect. I knew he played a lot this year. I didn't realize he played as much as he played the year before. That was
tight windows. Throws in tight windows.
Yeah, no, but he's still raw. But he's super
They're all raw. What quarterback is not raw?
But to judge him off of the Georgia game, that's ridiculous, bro. The Georgia has an NFL defense. Jesus Christ, they've got great talent. Give the kid a break, man.
What you got to judge him on?
I'll take Hendon Hooker in the latter part of the first round or second round happily. That I don't mind failing on a guy like that. Just look at the talent, bro.
What about a 51?
Yeah, I would take him.
Really?
I would take him. Yes. Ron Wolf.
If he's there 51, you're pulling the trigger.
Ron Wolf. Yes.
All right. We're on board. High five.
Because I'm developing him, and in blowout games, I'm bringing him out.
He ain't even got to play to develop.
doing what Ron Wolf did when he had Brett Favre. He had Brett Favre kicking ass, all that, and he went and drafted Matt Hasselbeck because he dropped to the third round or second round or whatever. And then for 2 years, he showcased him in the preseason where Matt was like lighting it up. And then any blowout game that Favre would have, Matt Hasselbeck came in and lit it up. And then guess what happened? It was Dave Wanstead and it was the Seattle Seahawks battling for the services for Matt Hasselbeck. Miami offered a second rounder. Seattle offered a first rounder. The rest is history. He goes to Seattle. He even gets to a Super Bowl and everything. He was a damn good quarterback. We didn't end up getting the quarterback when it's all said and done, but he drafted him and developed him and traded him for a higher pick under Brett Favre. And then Thompson took over and he then drafted Aaron Rodgers. And
Matt
I
Flynn.
think when you have a quarterback, you don't stop drafting quarterbacks.
Absolutely
because
not.
if you can keep developing them,
Aaron Rodgers, Brian Brum, and Matt Flynn.
That's right. And he traded Matt Flynn. The other guy he couldn't trade because he got kind of exposed. But remember, even before that, I've told the story many times. It was Brett Favre, it was Mark Brunell, it was Aaron Brooks, and Kurt Warner in the same training camp. He cut Kurt Warner. He traded Aaron Brooks to New Orleans. He traded Mark Brunell to Jacksonville, and he drafted Matt Hasselbeck. That's a son of a bitch right there. That's
Somebody
a
know how to
badass.
identify quarterbacks.
Badasses. Okay, Ron Wolf is the badass of all badasses when it comes.
He's also the reason we had Chad Henne here for 2 years, 3 years.
Well, everything's not perfect. That's why he ended up with the guy from Louisville that wasn't that good. So you know, what are you gonna do, bro? You know, but my point is, yeah, I've said it before. If Hendon Hooker's there at 51, yeah, I'll take him, bro.
I'm with you. I was just having that conversation with Poupard on the podcast.
I mean, I've got an owner that might cost me more picks down the line. Let me draft somebody that I can actually turn into more picks.
Stop it. Don't blame that man for doing
for being in relationship with Bruce Beal, because that's the man we got to blame.
Don't blame him. He's trying to.
I got to blame him for listening to Bruce Beal.
He's trying to win, baby.
No, I know, but try to win without getting caught, dude.
They all do it, man. Yeah,
but you can't get caught, Omar.
Man, come on. This is text history. Everybody's gonna get caught up in the text history. This is they wanted to get him, so they got him. And they didn't want to get him because of Sean Payton and Tom Brady. They wanted to get him because of Brian Flores. You know that. You
got to be like the Cheatriots. At least they win.
They get caught too, man. When they want to get there,
they're still winning. Back in the day,
that first round pick, it don't matter. It don't matter. It is what it is.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I would have been able to sell the show. It was hard. A bar didn't buy it because of no first round. So yeah. Right. So Bruce Beal cost me some money.
I hear you. Listen.
Every bar I approach, it's like, well, the Dolphins don't have a first rounder. What do we do?
Shoot or shoot, man. That's what I always say. And Steve Ross is a shooter. I don't want him to stop shooting.
I just don't want him to get caught anymore.
Man,
you're going to go approach Harbaugh. Well, then, bro, do it right. Don't get caught by everybody else. Jesus Christ, dude. If you're going to cheat, come on, bro. Cheat the right way. You know, that's what you got to do. What do you got going on in Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
You know, I'm actually doing a breakdown now of the Dolphins and Jets roster because comparing it to the Jets roster because these Jets fans, they're getting really out of hand. They're getting that.
They're like the cocky Heat fan. Just a little inkling of success. Boom. That's it. We're the greatest of all time.
Wow.
At least the cocky Heat fan has some titles recently. And
yeah, man.
That's the only
thing. They doing it tonight?
Yeah. Oh, no, not tonight. I think Milwaukee comes back with a vengeance. I don't think Giannis wants to go out 4-1. So I think he, and they're home and all that. I think we come back for game 5 and 6 and hopefully finish it off here in Miami. That's what I think happens. I expect a very desperate Bucks team tonight, unfortunately. You know what is over tonight is the Panthers. They're the ones that are going to lose tonight in Boston. What are you going to do? They had their chance, bro. You can't lose both at home. That's, you took one from Boston. You took away their home ice. you had to at least split at home, and you screwed up. So they royally screwed up. You got the Heat tonight? You think they're going to win?
No, but I hope that they'll win. I hope Jimmy can put on a cape again.
How many more times can he do it, bro? I wish there was another cape. That's really
Playoff Jimmy, baby.
I know, but there's only one.
They need Duncan Robinson to step up.
Somebody's got to step up, bro, because that guy is all alone.
It's true. Somebody, yeah.
He looks like Ricky Williams on the Dolphins offense years ago, where Ricky said, there ain't enough marijuana to keep me going and taking this pounding. I got to get the hell out of here, baby. Okay? Because that's what Jimmy Butler is. He's Ricky Williams right now.
That's a good comparison. That's a good metaphor, too.
It's all alone, man. It's a shame. All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his exceptional work there at Sports Illustrated with the one and only Alan Poupar, and catch their banter back and forth too. They got the podcast going also. Oh, thank you, my brother. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the draft. We'll catch up next week.
All right. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Omar Kelly, baby. And our EssentialMovingExperts.com Miami Dolphins reporter. Remember, Essential Moving Experts, Sean Williams, great people, man. Call them anywhere in the country you need to move. Essential Moving Experts can get it done. They're big Dolphins fans, as you can tell. Their business is all in Dolphins colors. Their home base is in Daytona. But again, if you live in California and you want to get out of there and you want to go over to Montana, you can do it. You want to move to Texas or Florida or New York, you can do it. They can move you. It doesn't matter if you're moving from inside a city, inside a county, from state to state, or across the country. EssentialMovingExperts.com will get it done for you right now, folks. 386-213-4054. That's 386-213-4054 for EssentialMovingExperts.com.
This is the Big O Show.